Driven from their homes by armed invaders, a few hardy refugees faced the prospect of starting again. They would found a new village deep in the countryside.
发展您的经济。
With a new settlement established, the first priority was locating a reliable food source. The simplest source was gathering from nature.
等一下，调整个东西。像城镇，这在城镇中心长这个样子。调酒。端午好。
With a healthy supply of food, the village could start to grow. To do so, it would need more hands to share the work.
生产5位村民。你可以站着睡啊！天哪！嘘，好。嘘，好。阿哥看底价，好啊。改变给。
The new workforce could now turn to the growing village's needs. First, they would build a mill near their food source, so villagers could drop off gathered berries more easily.
建造一座磨坊。建造。Working day。影分身，影分身，魔幻呢？海迪亚嘞。
Next, the growing village would need wood to build with.
哇，多少人？海迪亚嘞。
The growing community now had a steady supply of lumber. To make wood collection easier, villagers could erect a lumber camp near the forest.
Near forest. 海迪亚嘞。go简单。我咬。
Thanks to the camp, villagers no longer needed to travel as far to drop off lumber. The village now required additional houses to support its growing population.
建造3栋房屋。爷爷，50，我现在有多少？400。这个采集好恶歹。
Housing in place, even more villagers could join the workforce. But a populous village would soon exhaust the natural food sources. To grow, the community needed dedicated farms.
Get it.
Woodsmen and farmers now kept the village well supplied. Further growth required knowing the countryside and finding more resources. For that, communities employed scouts.
啊，只能东西可以产斥候，真的假的？人口可以产到40人。亚狗。
Able to move quickly and see great distances, scouts were key to discovering new resources. The most important thing for a scout to locate was a ready source of gold.
"原来是女斥候哎，亚鲁。 黄金。 Abandon.
To prevent having to haul all large distances, expanding communities would establish a mining camp near the source of gold. A well-placed camp ensured efficient gold mining.
Yaru 好像现在是怎样？森林会直接阻挡那个视野呢？哦。 耶嘎，
With a good supply of gold, the village was becoming a large town. The signpost of this growth would be the construction of a large landmark.
大型地标。哦，这个就是3代的那种升级系统。猎王修道院。不能上去，好吧。
With the landmark in place, the once sleepy village announced itself as a thriving feudal township. The townsfolk had been driven from their homes before, however. This time, they would defend themselves.
学习使用长枪兵。
The first step would be constructing a barracks for infantry.
Worker. What hepura?
看来我的行动范围就会被限制在这边了。这边都树林。
Once it had a barracks, the town could establish a standing force of soldiers. Simple infantrymen armed with spears were a common choice for these militias.
Yes, sir.
Fatima. What's her faith, eh? That shule beo timbran.
What third faith, eh? Each timber of tails. Yes, sir. Ferdinand. Egypt look at that.
Yes, sir. West to Harlan.
呢？
Yarway.
The town now had a militia and could look to reclaim the lands lost to invasion.
哇，打木墙这么硬哦！
The invaders had blocked the road north with a stout palisade. Although spears were of little use against these walls, the militia could burn down the obstacle with torches.
啊，它也就像3代一样，打建筑会变成火把这样子，不会像以前都只是这样戳而已。哎呀！
With the road open, the militia could now reclaim their lands in the north. First, the spearmen had to deal with a lone sentry.
行くぜ！あ、ステラ！Ctrl 加1。使用移动攻击以消灭。我们看不是很懂他的意思啊。若要使用移动攻击选择上，在移动攻击上按一下滑鼠左键。
Advancing aggressively, the militia eliminated the enemy sentry. The invaders had a small cavalry camp guarding the road, but the militia was ready to attack.
够吗？等一下，等一下。
Yes, sir. Questo hala. Garu.
呢？
Spears were highly effective against cavalry, allowing the militia to win the day. All that remained was to destroy the invaders' stables. The invaders' cavalry post was destroyed, but other enemy positions awaited further up the road. Hostile archers defended the next camp, which would put spearmen at a disadvantage. The township needed cavalry of its own to deal with this, and so would need to build stables. To deploy that cavalry quickly, the town needed to build their stables near the front lines. Fortunately, friendly villagers came out of hiding.
靠腰有人啊，笑死！
Set del fende.
Cheerless, your way on your samiente. Each timbra fails.
Garwigan, Aseta.
Cheerless here. Each production may be of timbra.
Garwigan! Akna, each Libya! The shield
Sally.
With stables in place, the town could field horsemen of its own.
Cheerless here. Each a worker.
.这什么？
Mid-May.
Ike on your Sally.
Ritnu. Garu, Farah.
Cheerless, thir fende hestem.
Yeah.
You're any af, Cheerless.
Garu Upa, Aknawa. Yedita Upa.
Cheerless, your way on your samiende. Each timbra fails.
Yerwath Garwigan. Trimet Garu. Mid-May.
Forrada, Ichuela. Follende Hessa. Ridende ut. Yara Berende Nu. Nashule Beo Timbran. Yeah, go up. Each here. Ridende ut. Go up. Ichuela.
嗯，还缺哦。
Yeah, Rende no. Ichuela ridan. Ridende ut. Rende no.
The town now had a rapid light cavalry, skilled at harassing slower targets, such as archers.
Forrada here.
Bail, are you right as Yahweh? Each a folly. Yak Yerwath Garwigan. Unda Kroku!
What hell? Ichuela ridan. Ridende ut.
cavalry eliminated the enemy archers and moved on to destroying the archery range itself. The invaders' archers and their camp were destroyed. A final enemy emplacement remained, one fortified with palisades and defended by spearmen.
攻击敌方步兵营。
To deal with this target, the town would need longbowmen. First, they needed to build archery ranges in the area regained from the invaders. Once more, friendly villagers arrived to help.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
On your work,
With several archery ranges in place, the town could add longbowmen to its forces.
each a worker. On your worker, Churlas their Fende Hestem. Now,
刚刚还有发现这里，
each timbre feos.
And your work, eh? Charlas their Fende Hestum. 'Ye sailing.
Flamboga, Strela, Fuse. Beodet, Strel, Boren, Yaru. Boga, Rock.
Hear that?
Don't do that.
Come on.
A strong force of archers could eliminate enemy spearmen at a distance.
那现在在
So
教
long
很
as
基
they
本
took
的
the proper position.
兵种相克。
What cares, Ahura? Yeah, go. Don't do that.
这里有小路啊，
Yeah, go.
Straboran, Kutlic.
Garwigan, Askira, Garwigan.
Yeditiru, Yesadleato. Yer, on Styria, Strelboran.
Charlas hair. Each timbre Theos. That's Shule Beo Timbran.
For Foyende Hessa. Ichuela. Ichiera.
啊，是那个悬崖哦，笑死！
Ridende ut. Ferende no.
Abuga Strelboren. Here, us. Get his there. Cometh honor. Strelboren Yerwa. Gath Strelboren.
And you would you say, yes? That's surely bail different. What's their faith, eh? Sure, lass. Sure, lass. Ferret forth. Yes, sir. Understood.
Warnia. It's here. Strelboren, Strelboren.
Poised on a cliff top, the longbowman would be protected from an infantry charge.
Abuga Strelboren. Heragongath on way. Lista Astigeth on way. Yeah, bully in the hassle.
The last of the invaders fell to the resurgent homegrown population. Now that their lands were free of enemies, the town could take the next step in its growth and become a powerful medieval city.
进入城堡时代。
Here, too, the erection of a great landmark would be the signpost of this growth.
白塔。
Sure, lass. Your way on your salmon end, eh?
Yeah, Heragongath on way. Bully in the hassle.
哦，他那个从村民升级好像也是3代的系统。弓箭就不能拆房子，有够慢。
Where a few lowly refugees had founded a small village, now rose a mighty city. From there would grow an empire.
Victory!
Slash 2017.
加载布丁。还是下载太慢了吧？怎么那么慢？ 加载更新。啊。哎呀！哇！重新启动游戏。哦，我的重新启动呢？Y 重新启动嘞。啊。
1-4.
你
28348. 88.
那个声音
68. 78. 68. 78. 68.
咋小？这个这是什么功能啊？
23. 88.
AA
38. 18. 1-4.
哇哈哈哈哈哈！诺曼人。选择难度，故事，我很废，我是个废物。
1-3. Some events leave a deep mark on history, but none on the land. This is the site of the Battle of Hastings. After almost 1,000 years, no traces of the bloody conflict can be seen. But here, the fate of England turned. It's where a king was killed, and his victor claimed the throne. October 14th, 1066. We know what happened here on this day, thanks to this. The Bayer Tapestry. A carefully preserved illustrated record of events. It shows the main players. Harold, the newly crowned Anglo-Saxon King of England, and his challenger, William, Duke of Normandy. William claimed the previous king had promised him the crown. So, he assembled an army and prepared to sail to England to fight King Harold for the throne. But a storm thwarted his plans. Meanwhile, Harold discovered that a Viking invasion had landed in the north. Another threat to his crown. So he raced to fight them. In France, William waited for the right conditions to sail across the Channel to England. The weather cleared. He seized his chance. "250 miles north, Harold had defeated the Vikings. Now, hearing of William's arrival, his army sped south. At 9 o'clock in the morning, on this hill, William's Norman army were ready to do battle with Harold's Anglo-Saxon men. The stage was set, and up for grabs, England itself.
申拉克山1066年，
October 14th, 1066, William of Normandy stood ready for battle at the base of a hill. The high ground belonged to King Harold of England and his Anglo-Saxon army. Here, on this hilltop, the fate of England would be decided.
攻击山顶上的军队，我的工兵呢？
Access Metzvos, compagnon.
嗯，
Quel est votre plaisir?
我只能控制自己这个。一个在。
William's
今だ。
army made the first charge, launching a direct assault on the shield wall. Though William's army fought fiercely against the shield wall, it would not yield. As one man fell, another took his place. Overlapping shields in tight formation made for a near impenetrable barrier. Realizing his army could not break the shield wall, William called for a retreat. He aimed to lure the Anglo-Saxons into a false sense of victory, causing them to break formation. William's feigned retreat was working. The Anglo-Saxon army broke their shield wall formation, leaving gaps for William to make a move. With Harold's men no longer in shield wall formation, William could pick them off as they charged. More Norman men-at-arms reinforced William's army.
我被包烂了，快笑死了。哎，不是啊，我要被包烂了。boss 撤 ，boss 撤。干嘛逃兵哦？你在逃兵哦？ 煎蛋。
The Anglo-Saxons had deployed rows of spearmen to push back the invaders, but William had an answer: his sharp-eyed archers.
我要被戳烂！我要被戳烂了！我要被戳烂了！哎！ Nintendo， 我眼公爵要死！我眼公爵要死！
Anglo-Saxon archers joined the fray, and the Normans' deadly cavalry ready to charge. But first, William's forces had to eliminate the enemy spearmen, whose sturdy polearms could easily bring down a horse.
With the
threat of spearmen cleared from the field, William's cavalry was free to charge at the Anglo-Saxon archers.
不啦！
More Norman cavalrymen took to the field. The Anglo-Saxon army was in disarray. Their shield wall had been neutralized, and their numbers were dwindling. Now the only thing standing between William and victory was King Harold himself. The last of Harold's men encircled their king, prepared to lay down their lives to save his. The Anglo-Saxon King Harold had fallen. In the confusion, some loyal soldiers fought to the death, while others scattered in panic. Leaderless and defeated, the last of the Anglo-Saxon army fled for their lives. The Normans celebrated victory over the English king, but William's quest to rule England was just beginning.
At 还有都还有影片可以看。
At Guédelon in France, to understand how castles were constructed, they're building one from scratch, using just the tools and materials of the medieval age. It's a 25-year project, the world's biggest archaeological experiment. The most important defensive feature of any castle was the wall surrounding it.
Castle walls had to be incredibly thick in order to resist attack and absorb the impact of projectiles fired from trebuchets.
The curtain wall was over 20 feet deep, interspersed with towers. In earlier Norman castles, they were square. But while on crusade, European knights saw that eastern towers were round. They realized that eliminating corners not only made them stronger, but also provided a better view of the surrounding landscape. Completing the walls will take some 30,000 tons of sandstone.
Transport costs in the Middle Ages were incredibly expensive. So having a good supply of local stone close to the castle was vital.
To extract it from the quarry, first a row of holes is hand-drilled.
Once all the holes are ready, I'm ready to put in the iron wedges, and I'm ready to split it open by hitting very hard on each wedge with a big sledgehammer.
The stone is split into usable blocks, then transported using horsepower and human effort. This treadwheel crane can lift up to half a ton.
The walls are built like sandwiches. On the outside you have facing walls built from better quality stones, and the inside, the rubble cores, they're built with softer stones and other offcuts from the quarry. And they're built up in layers with a very thick, coarse mortar.
This ingenious method makes the walls better able to withstand hits from a trebuchet. Sandstone is too hard to be carved into intricate windows, vaults, and steps. Instead, softer, more expensive limestone is used. These sophisticated building techniques make castles the ultimate feats of medieval engineering. It's a testament to their construction that so many still stand today.
这应该是刚刚的吧
1066-4.
哈雷彗星。继续。
At the Battle of Hastings, the death of one man changed the course of history. The Anglo-Saxon King Harold was killed here, on England's south coast. His army defeated by William of Normandy. Anglo-Saxon rule was over forever.
伦敦，英格兰。
Westminster Abbey on Christmas Day 1066. William was crowned the first Norman King of England. Now he had to secure power across the country. He began by stamping his mark on the landscape, building cathedrals and castles at strategic locations. Nothing like them had been seen in England before. They reminded the Anglo-Saxon population exactly who was in charge. But not all were content with living under Norman rule. Anglo-Saxon revolts broke out across the country. King William acted quickly to crush these rebellions. But there was one region where dissent was spiraling out of control: the north of England. In 1069, a group of lords from Northumbria formed an alliance with Viking invaders. Together they approached Norman-held York, a large city with an important cathedral, still protected by ancient Roman walls. But the walls couldn't save York. The city and the castle fell to the rebels. William's new kingdom was under threat. He had to get the city back under Norman control. William had no choice but to order his men north. But as the Norman forces set off on their long march towards York, how much resistance from the rebels would they encounter?
他怎么没有趁影片的时候载入嘞？好了，通往约克之路1069。
William the Conqueror marched north, with his army of Normans determined to take back the rebel-held city of York. But in his path stood rebel towns that harbored William's northern enemies. He would take the towns back by force.
Soyez prest, compatriotes.
洋洋来这边干什么？洋洋，你能吃素吗？一个字。
Retrayez vos avoués. Avertissez votre collège, compagnons.
The Normans captured the town of Middlethorpe, establishing their presence in the north. With reinforcements to his armies soon arriving, William would need more resources to supply them.
怎么突然就储存游戏？怕啦！拓展经济。Massonia。
Ascolti.
木头没了，哪尼？
Movans. Parats. Materia.
建造额外
Mandemans.
满的满
Capio.
大表。艳阳回来了没？
Ascolto. Move ici. Vado. Lanquier. Move, serviette. Tonets muove. Si comme. Momentesi, arrobedio. Scara. Ensala.
Me ascolto. Che?
要多少？50。
Spero.
刚看错了
Edifico.
，Edifico。
Ascolti. Parats. Capians. Cavalerie. Cursores.
洋洋，洋洋，让我点啊，过来啊！
Cursor. Cavals. Cavals.
哎，那些东西有啦，
Ascolto.
不是，而且羊跑好快，不知道这快什么意思啊，快笑死了！
Ici. Ascolto. Vado.
你为什么那么快？
Certe. Parat. Cavalarios. Cursores.
这是什么林间密道吗？都是羊，怎么到处都是羊？
Si. Ascolto. Move ici. Ascolto. Cavalarios. Bene. Cavalarios. Cavals. Si.
Quod. Vado. Laburo.
Mandemans. Vado. Che? Laburo. Spero. Si. Si. Laborans.
Ubi vado. Laburo.
哦，我斥候。
Spero. Ma sono.
Ici! Parade, course res. Cavalario odio. Cavalarios quitamus. Unamon, cavalarios. Access. Quando je commande, avant. Escol cavalarios. Escolto. Course res. Ok. Cavals. Si. Cavalarios.
Me. Estandur. Colonne spero.
Aiuta!
Materia.
Quiete, cavalarios. Escolto. Fere fort. Scarabonata. Attends. Avant, compagnon. Je suis votre serveuse. Victoria! Compagnon! Quand je commande, avant! Quand je commande, avant!
Ubi vado, eh? Mandements. Alla materia.
黄金，我没有探索到黄金，尴尬。来这里，需要黄金啊！啊，这边都已经绕过了，都是羊，笑死！哦，我不能乱升级东西呢。
Parats.
Mandements. Alla materia. Ensala. Vado. Si.
找黄金啊！
Chierte. Si. Escolto.
Escolte.
Fox. Mande. Escolto. Cavallo. Access vos, compagnon. Avant, compagnon. Pour votre service.
Quod. Laborans la terre.
Exploro, vado. Cavallo.
Hello，
Si. Vado. Escolto. Si. Very cool. Escolto. Vado.
The Normans discovered an enemy outpost on the water. It belonged to an ally of the northern rebels, the Danes. The Danish king Svein II had sent his army to harass William's forces and prevent him from taking back the north. William had a choice: bypass the encampment or destroy it.
Vado. Cavallo. Escolto.
我选那个选择性目标，好。
Sì. Bene. Cavallo. Sì. Very good. Vado. Escolto. Escolto. Vado. Sì.
没有黄金啊！
Chierte. Escolto. Chierte. Sì. Ici.
Mandement, ubiva croquedo.
等一下啊，
Che movens. Parats. Edifico. Spero, orchest. Laburo.
Parate. Sì. Vado. Escolto.
哦，我好像看到黄金了。
Vado. Cavallo.
又有羊，天哪！这洋纪帝国是不是啊？
Bene. Escolto.
哦，有黄金了。
Sì.
这有几个人来啊？
Escolto. Sì. Edifico. Venisse beati. Benefect. Parats pour labora.
The Norman army was now well supplied by a town, but it would take a sustained effort to keep the army at full strength.
援军已抵达。哎呦，我们嗨的。米那梦，
Escolte bene.
Another rebel town, Fulford,
Tuts odi.
stood in defiance to William's rule.
Io ma sono la cosa. Parat pour venir.
Tuts udite.
Ok.
Vado labora.
Bene. Vedi che quetio sumenso.
Parat pour venir.
只是不喜欢它像二代一样那个，还要再盖那个。
Et Sarà massonata.
Ascolti bene. Cosa sarà massonata?
Soyez votre jetzt bons à moi. Incontinent. En votre service. Apertisez votre courage, compagnon.
E ce li mandano. Vado a lavorare.
Lonche. Bene. Solat. Omeglio. Parate arziest.
那直接变我的，太棒了吧！
With the Fulford rebels eliminated, William was one step closer to York.
正在储存游戏，
Knowing he would face strong resistance in the city, William prepared to bolster his cavalry.
Ascolte bene.
Bene. Con me. Sì, comprendo. Io ma sono la cose.
E ce li... Sì, comprendo. Sì, cavo. Parat. Ite.
Felice e spea.
Preparate, archers. Bene, bene.
Compagnon. Reste pas. Jetsdams. No. Obeir. C'est je ris dans vos volets.
Presente l'encaisse. Vade l'encaisse.
toutes sodité.
Prendo.
Io ma sono la cose.
Ascolte bene.
看一下这种安排啊，
Vado a massare.
然后
Cavallarios parat.
Cavallo ici.
Tuts odite. Vado a lavorare.
Courso. Commandez.
Attendez, je suis votre serveuse.
Having left the Dane threat unchecked, the Normans now faced a savage raid from the rebels' fearsome ally. William's army held back the Danes' attack, but they threatened to return unless William paid them in gold.
Maintenance, colonnes.
你每次给我这样出虫，我会吓死啊！
Ascolti bene.
Ok.
Io ma sono la cose.
Tous audite. Fammi trenta.
Si, coup grand course. Un boulot. Si volets.
麦来卵啊！
Comprendo. Commandes.
Scara formata.
Veillance l'inimi. Si, perfecte.
Mea sultan.
Si volets. Les maçons sont ici. Esfect. Comprendo. Commandes.
Orano. Cavallarios parat. Faire effort. Buen labor.
Quid me?
完成幕墙。
Cose sera massona.
Tourma.
Vado labora.
Commandes.
With their stables in place, the Normans could add more cavalry to their army.
Io ma sono la cosa.
人均已抵达。哎呦，又来帮我来了。
William paid off the Danes and was rid of their attacks. William's ultimate goal was within his grasp. All that remained was to enter York and destroy its keep.
破坏城门。这里有一座，好了解。哦，斥候呢
Quid me.
？With me。
E c'è l'imandement.
你们去。现在木材够了，你就缺石头跟那个吧。那你们来这里好了。
Cose sera massona.
Che demande? Esfect.
然后这里也有石头资源，在哪？哎，黄金哎！
Oh yeah. Cavallo ici. Un boulot. Ennemi viennent. Cum grand course.
Ascolte bene.
还有什么能升级的吗？
Si sommes.
Tous audite. Vado labora.
啊，对了，不吧。
Ascolte bene. Vale excavo. Parat por venir. Io ma sono la cosa.
Caval parat.
但我还是想把丹麦的弄爆。
Auditez. Ite. Quitte.
Eccilimam de Mont.
Attention. In avant, servientes. Bene audite. In avant, servientes.
L'heure est de besoin. Avant, compagnon.
哦，刚刚打那些援军不跑哪去？
La bourse Perance. Si, cavo.
有得升级吗？
Acest veți vos, retrăieți vos amoi. Somos un ordonnance. Christus som spres.
In destroying the Dane outpost, William stripped the rebels of a crucial ally.
Le wand je commande, avant. Certes.
反击掠夺者，
Avertisez votre courage, compagnon. Avant, compagnon. Retrayez vos amouilles.
升级吗？不行，不行升级。城墙，不能升级。
Vido, si.
À l'arsenal, chevalier.
哇，被老背啊！
Incontinent. Certes.
Mondesqued.
Escolte bene.
Cavallarios parazzi. Sito. Obeio. Odio.
Mondesqued.
Tous audite. Si, cavo. Parats pour labora. Eccelimam de Mont. Comme mitrenka.
Parat porvenir.
Tous audite. Vale excavo. Mondesqued, escolte bene. Si, cavo.
Soyez avertissez votre courage, compagnon. Wand, je commande, avant. Si comme vos voldrez. Wand, je commande, avant. Avant, compagnon. Retrayez vos amoués. Si comme vos voldrez.
The Norman army poured into York and began sacking the town as they bore down on the keep.
Incontinent. Wand, je commande, avant. Si comme vos voldrez. Avertissez votre courage, compagnon.
En la vouée.
Retrayez vos amoués.
Compagnon, reste devant la besogne.
Si sommes.
Je suis votre serveur.
Compagnon, ruelle Boston, en la vouée.
Tous prêts. En assaut, chevalier.
Audit. Audience. Ambulance. In avant, servientes. Province, préparate. Momente si arquet. Impeto. Parate arquet. Préparate arquet.
Compagnon!
我的马厩。
Momente si arquet.
哎呀哈！
The keep fell to the Norman army, and York was secured. The Northern Rebellion was over, and William the Conqueror was uncontested as King of England.
又有影片，
1085.
你到底为什么要帮我念这些啊？
At the Battle of Hastings, the death of one man changed the course of history. The Anglo-Saxon King Harold was killed here, on England's south coast. His army defeated by William of Normandy. Anglo-Saxon rule was over forever. At Westminster Abbey on Christmas Day 1066, William was crowned the first Norman King of England. Now he had to secure power across the country. He began by stamping his mark on the landscape, building cathedrals and castles at strategic locations. Nothing like them had been seen in England before. They reminded the Anglo-Saxon population exactly who was in charge. But not all were content with living under Norman rule. Anglo-Saxon revolts broke out across the country. King William acted quickly to crush these rebellions. But there was one region where dissent was spiraling out of control: the north of England. In 1069, a group of lords from Northumbria formed an alliance with Viking invaders. Together they approached Norman-held York,
然后这个刚好像看过了吧？
a large city with an important cathedral, still protected by ancient.
大家看过了，这个弩，
One weapon more than any other dominated warfare in the Norman period: the crossbow. th-century crossbows like this were the culmination of centuries of development. With limbs made of steel, they were incredibly powerful. But earlier Norman crossbows had limbs made of wood.
There was a limit to how powerful these wooden bows could be.
So, the idea that Norman crossbows were a powerful weapon is really a myth. Despite this, they were effective at medium range, and that was enough in battle. Drawing the bow repeatedly took a lot of strength. Thankfully, help was at hand.
A crossbowman spanned his weapon with a device called a belt and claw.
This gave him extra leverage, allowing him to use his back and legs to draw the string.
Crossbowmen were vulnerable on the battlefield, so they carried large shields called pavises, so they could hunker down behind, load, pop up, shoot, and then duck back down again to reload.
Crossbows were accurate, took less training, and used cheaper ammunition than the longbow. Most importantly, you could wait to take your shot, so they were perfect for siege situations. To protect crossbowmen when they were defending castles, they used specially built wooden galleries, called hoardings. But shooting down towards an approaching enemy presented its own problems. How to stop the bolt from falling off the crossbow before it could be shot?
What they did is just place the thumb loosely on the top of the bolt, which is just enough with light pressure to hold it in place.
Around 1200, the Norman wooden crossbow was superseded by a new design, the composite bow. With limbs made from horn and sinew, they could be made more compact than a wooden bow. And they could deliver up to 4 times the punch. They were, however, more expensive. So whether on the battlefield or the castle rampart, simple wooden crossbows remained the main weapon of the day. William the Conqueror had recaptured York from the rebels. Now he wanted to teach them a lesson for defying him. He began a brutal campaign of destruction to crush any further resistance, known as the Harrying of the North. Villages and crops were destroyed. It is said 100,000 people were killed. With ruthless efficiency, William the Conqueror had secured obedience in his new kingdom. But it wasn't to last. It would be thrown into chaos by his own children. When William the Conqueror died in 1087, his favorite son succeeded him. King William II, known as William Rufus. But 13 years into his reign, disaster struck. While out hunting, he was killed. William's youngest brother took his place as King Henry I. But there was a problem. At the time, Henry's elder brother, Robert, Duke of Normandy, had been on crusade. When he returned, he was furious that Henry had grabbed the throne. From Normandy, Robert attempted to invade England to claim the crown from his brother. But he failed and returned home. In retaliation, Henry struck back. In a reversal of 1066, he crossed the Channel and invaded Normandy, intent on undermining his brother Robert's rule. His first target was Bayeux. This rich and splendid city was one of the jewels of Normandy. Henry was to begin his campaign by unleashing his forces on the city. Bayeux was about to feel the wrath of the English army.
太久了吧？影片都看完了，可以顺便载入吧。1105年。
In the brotherly feud over Normandy, King Henry I set out to make an example of Bayeux, a town still loyal to his brother Duke Robert. Henry's archers took up position on high ground outside the city and faced an immediate attack by Robert's cavalry patrol. Having deployed their palings, Henry's archers were well protected against the cavalry charge. They defeated the first patrol.
"摧毁贝叶，援军已抵
As
达。
Henry set his sights on burning Bayeux, more reinforcements arrived to join his army. The English approached Bayeux and saw that its towering stone walls would not be breached by manpower alone. Henry would need siege equipment and a defensible location to construct it.
Stay
哦，移动攻击这样子。不能过河，可恶！ 快逃啊！ 刚不应该拆建筑的。
Henry now called for the services of a blacksmith to bolster the siege effort.
建造铁匠谱。
On your worker. What third faith, eh? Each timber theos.
Estes comende. That Shula Beon Timber. There you work.
With a blacksmith on hand, Henry's infantry would soon be ready to construct siege equipment.
Fifth the team.
Yes, sir. West to Hala. Each a worker. And your worker.
Egypt okay that. Yes, sir. Where's the holler? Each timber times.
Ike om your selly.
Ike Yeseli. What's the faith, eh?
我伺候。
And you work it. That's Shula Bayo Timber.
鱼。
Henry's infantry could now construct battering rams, siege weapons designed to break open fortress walls.
使用步兵建造冲锋车。啊，现在变这样子哦，太酷炫了吧！
Yes, sir. Where's the holler? Yes, sir. Where's the holler? Sure, lass. Your way on your salmon end day.
Yes, sir. West to
Vieru
Hala.
Sierra Yaru, don't departe. On well gender new, Garu Uppa, be what thought be on us. Garu we gone, Aseta. It shall be timbre this.
What third faith, eh? Fachende Wooden. Yaru to work.
It beeth bulldog.
Each a worker.
Estes comende. Gadriende Woodoo. Yes,
Yerwa, Garu we gone.
here we are.
At least if I look at who's gone.
Fabricas.
What's up， 肥肥？
Each timber theos. Yaru to work.
Yaru to work.
Yes, sir. West Duhala.
What third faith, eh?
Each a willa. Yes, sir. Understood.
What third faith, eh? Charlas Thorfende Heston. Each timber theos.
Cheerless. Your way on your Sammy and day you work. That Shule Bayo Timbran. And your worker. Each will a delta. There are you worker.
And your work, eh? Yes, eh? What's the Charlas hair?
Ik om je Sally.
Each your work, eh?
Each bouquet that. Yes, sir. West Duhala. Here up, upper.
Yes, eh?
Each will be in self-bende. Yes, sir. West Duhala.
嗯，
And your work, eh?
What third face day? The Wednesday off. Each timbra theos. And your worker.
Charlas. Yes, sir. Your way on your Saminende. Come upon it, Charlas.
Yaru to work.
嗯，
Each your worker. Yes, sir. West Duhala.
Chiara tu.
And your worker. Your way, Iawala. Here is name. That Shule Bayo Timbran. What surface
And
day?
your work, eh?
Ike om your Sally. Each your worker.
Snäll we have. Could you be there, sir?
Yeah, Iaru.
Each and your work, eh? Yaru to work. Charlas hair. Each a will a hua voodoo.
Yes, sir. West Duha. Cheerless here.
嗯，应该都升级的差不多了。然后，
Snäll we have.
长枪兵跟长空兵，
Bayard May.
And your worker.
border, Ferris. Garwiga. Bayard May. Strail Boren, Yao. Bestra Boran, Sipe. It shall timbre this. Yes, the men.
Ah!
With the power of battering rams, the English army could crack open Bayer's mighty walls.
That timbre shall bail. Ich ale ye dog. Pestes, kuma. Abuga, Onsteria, Strelbor.
And you worker? Jarla, Sir Fende Heston. Gadriende Wudu. Yes, sir. West to have Cheerless. Your way on your Samiende. Gadriende Wudu.
Hot man.
Garwiga.
Yalyaru, Huskara.
What Hestes?
突破城墙。
Ich stand that yard.
Alistevala. Fusetus ich live to hear the state of ich yada. You read it up. Eoridas. Hellsborough. Each of all you. Giantende! 2! Eoridas! 4! Ichiara!
这传人应该够吧？
Bayer's walls had failed, and Henry's men could now storm the city. Robert's garrison made a last stand to defend Bayeux, but Henry would show no mercy in cutting them down and burning their city.
What's their faith, eh?
Hester's commended.
Undershotting of
哇，没黄金了，那只能全力伐木了。
Each timber floats.
哎，杀太快了，杀太快了！ 解救领救。笑死！
As Bayeux burned and the people fled in terror, King Henry basked in the victory over his brother Duke Robert. But Henry would not stop until all of Normandy was back under the English crown.
Na. 影片这个是新的。
By 1100, the medieval knight was dressed from head to toe in mail.
Mail is really like a metal fabric. It moves and behaves like a cloth, but is actually made of hundreds and thousands of interlocking iron rings.
It could turn and deflect a sword blade.
As an armor, mail didn't work all by itself. it needed the addition of a padded coat. The coat absorbed the shock of the blow whilst the mail turned away the cut. Together, they formed an incredibly effective protection.
The first stage in making mail was to create wire to the right thickness. To do this, it was pulled through a drawing plate, which had a series of ever smaller holes.
啊，以前做这个那么
Until you
硬。
got wire of the desired gauge.
To make the rings, we wind the wire onto a mandrel.
And then we take it off the mandrel and cut the rings.
So I've flattened the overlapping ends of the ring and I pierced a hole through it. And now Nick has to put a rivet in it. The basic construction of mail would be a ratio of 4:1. So each ring goes through 4 of its fellows. Here you can see I've made a set of 5, which will then be joined to other sets of 5 to create a sheet of mail.
Mail had to be tailored to a perfect fit. It had to be shaped for feet and legs, arms and hands, and of course the head. A skilled mail maker could make very precise shapes.
Of course, for more complicated parts of the body like elbows, we can actually tailor it in 2 different directions at the same time.
Yeah. So if we fold this in half, we have an elbow.
One of the main benefits of tailoring in mail was that it meant a knight didn't have to carry a single ring of extra weight that he didn't need to.
The mail to cover a knight from head to toe required
还有
about
20万。
200,000 rings.
High-status knights would have had their mail edged with gold, but most importantly, it had to be functional.
Clad in mail with his shield and helmet, the knight was well equipped to face the weapons of the day. William the Conqueror had recaptured York. While Bayeux burned, King Henry pressed his advantage. Seizing key fortifications and buying the loyalty of powerful lords, Henry loosened his brother's grip over Normandy. At Tinchebray in 1106, brother would fight brother for final claim to their father's lands.
坦什布赖之战。我们现在进度还1/3，天哪！其实蛮有意思的，是工程兵器居然是步兵来做。
Determined to claim Normandy and capture his brother, Duke Robert, King Henry besieged the castle at Tinchebray. But the direct assault on the formidable stone castle was failing. Unable to breach the towering walls, the king devised a new plan to capture his brother. Henry would force Robert to defend his lands from attack by razing the villages of Martigny and Fresnes.
将村庄夷为平地。找到了。指挥官，你们先冲前面。
To goad Robert out of his stronghold,
干好多人。
Henry's men would burn the village to the ground. The village of Martigny was destroyed, but still Robert did not emerge to face Henry outside the castle. Henry would have to raise the stakes. Next, he targeted the village of Fresnes. Henry could buy reinforcements from nearby allies.
哦，
If he could
用
provide
买
the
的哦，会
gold
笑
to
死
pay。them.
有多少钱？
Henry received word that Robert had sent for a fresh army to aid in defending his position at the castle. Henry had to eliminate these new forces before they could combine with the garrison at Tinchebray. Henry sent gold to his ally in Brittany, and in return,
太少
a
了。
detachment arrived to bolster his numbers. Henry's ally in Bayeux sent reinforcements in exchange for gold. By eliminating Robert's incoming army, Henry had thwarted his brother's attempt at strengthening the castle's defenses.
Henry 哇，这只好
Henry
猛！
sent gold to his ally in men and received fresh reinforcements.
Andente to serve. Fourth Ward de Franks, mid Baldenes. He shall lay the yow. Admina Werder, Fedeth. Alles with. Ich live to hear it.
哎，开烧！沿路抢钱。
At the hands of Henry's army, the village of Fresnes was in ruins. Henry's provocations had paid off. Robert finally emerged from the castle to face his brother in open battle.
Admina Werder Ferret.
要700块啊，可以再买什么妖魔鬼怪？
King Henry's tactic of luring Robert into the open had worked. Henry captured his brother, and Normandy was his.
哇，那我这样感觉玩起来这个游戏应该可以玩个10几个小时吧，光单那个战役的部分。
While Bayeux burned, King Henry William the conqueror's sons had resolved their long feud over Normandy, with King Henry wresting possession away from his brother. But the French King Louis VI would not accept Henry's heir as the future Duke of Normandy. Henry's fragile power would face its first test, an invasion by the French king.
布雷穆勒之战，1119年。这张打完休
In
息
the。disputed countryside between Normandy and France, a smouldering farmstead gave away the beginnings of a French invasion. At the head of the vast army stood King Louis of France himself. An English scout hastily rode to inform King Henry of England, who was still en route to defend his borders. Hearing of the threat, villagers and guards fled their English-held towns and retreated to the stronghold of Fleury.
波柱霸军是什么？僧侣，哇靠！那你可以干什么？
Above all, the English forces in Normandy had been commanded to hold the town of Fleury and await King Henry's arrival.
Nu voliende hes.
哇靠！这里有什么是我能做的吗？看一下，木材，木材不够啊。只能做3只啊！我靠！ 哎，这个挡不住。
As the village of Crescenville fell, all English hopes lay in holding Fleury for the king's arrival.
Standeth Huscarla.
资源非常不够啊！哇，这个对我来讲有点困难。哎，这个是要怎么打嘞？哎，哥哥啊，也很过分。要怎么打嘞？资源不够啊。肉。啊，完了，尴尬。
Yeah, signature.
The town of Graville succumbed to the French, and the English were pushed back towards Fleury.
Cheer, let's hear.
New dinner hit. Let us go. New Yalas. Sterande Tiva.
快跑啊！ 肉不够啊！要肉要木材。坚守啊，他什么时候到？时间呢？步兵呢？哦，很讨厌啊，这个。这里还有一个在偷，笑死了。啊，麻烦啊！这种最不会打了，太强啦，太废了。这个兵还在铲。哇，2倍！我要怎么拖住啊？资源不够啊！我不会玩啊！失败啊！这是不要他胜嘞！我在研究好了。那攻来速度才5分钟而已，我要怎么营运啊？好，今天开到这边，感谢各位收看。Thanks for your watching. See you next time.